Good morning, y'all. It's Tuesday morning. It's 1:42 in the a.m. So I got up to get on and just see what's going on. I went to bed a little early, and so I came across this where there's breaking news, and it says that Diddy has been arrested in New York by federal agents. They said that he's been indicted by the grand jury. And his attorney says that we are disappointed with the decision to pursue what we believe is an unjust prosecution of Mr. Combs. They say he was arrested Monday after he was indicted by a Manhattan grand jury. Damian Williams, the U.S. attorney for the Southern District of New York, confirmed Combs had been arrested by federal agents based on a sealed indictment. It's unclear what the charges are in the filing. We expect to move to unseal the indictment in the morning, and we will have more to say at that time. Combs' attorney, Mark Agnifilo, told the New York Times he believed the charges were for racketeering and sex trafficking. Combs is expected to be held overnight and arraigned on Tuesday. We are disappointed with the decision to pursue what we believe is an unjust prosecution of Mr. Combs by the U.S. Attorney's Office. That's what his attorney said. Sean Diddy Combs is a music icon, self-made entrepreneur, loving family man, and proven philanthropist who has spent the last 30 years building an empire, adoring his children, and working to uplift the black community. Agnifilo said his client had been nothing but cooperative with investigators, noting Diddy had voluntarily moved to New York last week in anticipation of the charges. Please reserve your judgment until you have all the facts, the lawyer said. These are the acts of an innocent man with nothing to hide, and he looks forward to clearing his name in court. Combs, 54, has faced allegations from several women. Last November, he settled a lawsuit with singer Cassie after she accused him of sexual and physical abuse during their years-long relationship. Singer Dawn Richard sued him in a separate case earlier this month on accusations of sexual assault and retaliation, among other claims. Federal agents raided several of his homes in March in Los Angeles and Miami Beach, Florida. Officials said media outlets at the time the raids were linked to Officials told media outlets at the time the raids were linked to a sex trafficking investigation by federal authorities in New York, although full details of that probe were unclear, and it was not reported if Combs was a target of the investigation. The rapper, a major figure in the advent of hip-hop and R&B, has rejected any claims of wrongdoing. His attorneys have lashed out at investigators, saying he had been ambushed and subject to media scrutiny that had led to a premature rush to judgment. So y'all know over here, I preach love. I don't know Diddy personally. I always have had much respect for those who weren't born with a silver spoon, but did what they had to do to make it. So what I will say is there has always been allegations, and there have been lawsuits filed. There have been settlements reached, and so I shared this in one of my recent videos about believing none of what you hear and half of what you see. And so also, as his attorney said, don't consider somebody guilty until you have all of the facts. And so that's what I have learned to do. I am neutral in this situation because I don't know either the parties personally, right? And we all should be like that. I'm gonna be honest. For me, I remember one time I was on jury duty, and they asked me, I forget what the question was, but I was excused. And my stance is, unless I have absolute fact, I can't send anybody to jail. I just could not confine somebody to a cage unless I had all of the facts. There was just no way it could be anybody else but that person, and that act actually happened. Because just because you've been accused does not mean you're guilty. And I look at those situations where their guys have spent decades in prison for things that they didn't do. And I noticed, and I here lately more and more, I realize that if you're a person that a lot of people don't like, you ever heard of the halo and the horn syndrome? Halo is, if you like a person, there's nothing they can do wrong in your eyesight. But if you hate them, everything they do is wrong. So, and how does love play into all this? Let me tell you how it does. If you love people, you'll treat them right? Whether it be a person that's wealthy or a person that's dirt poor. I've seen homeless people sharing a little food or whatever that they have. And then the person with a lot may look past by them and look at them with their nose turned up. I'm just saying, and I've talked about this too before. When you are wealthy, you don't need yes people around you. You need somebody around you that's going to say, hey man, you don't want to do that, you're going to end up in trouble. Nobody that loves you is going to watch you self-destruct. There have been accusations that Diddy has done all kind of horrible things to people, and I like I said, I don't know him personally. I just had a lot of respect for him. I love the way he took care of his kids, the way he loved his mom, all that. What I'm saying is, isn't it sad? Isn't it, to me, I know a lot of times when people see people going through bad things, they're happy about it. I'm just not. If those allegations are true, I'm sad for the victim, and I'm also sad for the suspect. Even in situations, mass murders and things like that, I always ask myself, everybody is born innocent. Now, we're born into a corrupt world, but you're innocent as a child. What in your life caused you to be a serial killer, evil? Just what happens to you to make you like that? My son and I have that conversation all the time, and my answer is, I really don't know. Do you, when you become wealthy, you think you can do things to people and just get away with it? Or if you randomly just go around shooting people, did something happen to you in your life to cause you to get like that? That's why I say love can change people, situations, and circumstances. You understand what I'm saying? Let this be a lesson to you young, especially you young black guys in the industry, entertainers, professional athletes. I even tell young people that when I meet them, make sure you're hanging around people that encourages you to be better. If I had a friend and I saw my friend doing something that was destructive to their life, I would pull them to the side and tell them. Now, how you receive that information is going to be up to you, but if it continues in my presence, I'm going to stop dealing with you. So, for me, if you're my friend and you're doing something that I don't like, I will have to love you from afar. And if you continue to do something that's illegal, immoral, unethical, we probably won't continue to be friends. Because birds of a feather flock together, right? So if all these people were hanging around him and they knew he was doing things that were illegal, unethical, immoral, discriminatory, and all that, then if you allowed that and you were in that presence, guess what? You're just as guilty, in my opinion. Now, this is my opinion, but that's how I feel about that. That's how I feel about that. You don't need yes people. If and I say this, when we fail to stop receiving advice and constructive criticism, that's when we fail to grow. We fail to grow. It's self-sabotage. God put people in your life to elevate you, to guide you, to direct you. Come on, y'all, be real. God not going to just come down here and guide you with his hand, right? He sends people. He sends people. How many of these people was it, if all this is true, just listen to me. If all of this is true, all of these accusations are true, he had people that was on his payroll. All of these people on the payroll, nobody quit because they saw all this happening. Nobody went to him and said, don't do this. Did he not listen? We don't know. We don't know all the facts, but I'm sure the facts will come out. I'm always, honestly, y'all, and I did something. I always try to look for the good in people. I really do. And I always, when things like this happen, I'm like, is it really real? You know, money is power. But did these things really happen? Or, like I always say, consider the source. What does the person have to gain or lose in the situation? I don't know, y'all. It's just rough. It's just rough. And, you know, I don't base my opinion on what other people say. You know, you can hear stories so much till it becomes ingrained. It becomes a part of what you believe. But is it really truth? You know, it's I don't know. But we'll see how this all play out. But they did say, I just read to y'all, that he moved to New York last week in anticipation of being arrested. So they had already had the conversation. But I just wish that, you know, and like I said, when things happen to me, I always want to know, what am I to learn from this? Because everything happened for a reason. So I don't know. It's just sad for me because I know he have kids whose mom passed, and so now with him going through this, that's just going to be a lot for them. And I think he has a young baby. So I always have compassion for the suspects and the victims. I do, because what makes a person evil? What? I don't know, y'all. I'm rambling now. It's early morning. Y'all be blessed. Talk to y'all later.